Sandra Bullock walked into a high-end boutique, expecting nothing more than a quiet shopping trip. No cameras, no flashing lights, just a simple moment to browse. But the second she stepped through the glass doors, something felt off. The boutique manager glanced at her, eyes scanning from head to toe, and in an instant, decided she wasn't worth their time. A slight smirk, a raised eyebrow. It was clear they thought she didn't belong. Sandra noticed, but she didn't say a word. She just kept browsing. What she didn't know was that things were about to take a humiliating turn. And just when it seemed like the moment couldn't get any worse, Keanu Reeves walked in. What he did next, no one saw it coming. Sandra walked into the boutique, dressed casually in jeans and a simple top. She wasn't wearing flashy jewelry or designer logos, just comfortable clothes, the kind you'd wear on a relaxed day out. To anyone who didn't recognize her, she looked like just another customer. And that's exactly how the boutique manager saw her. With one quick glance, they made up their mind. She wasn't important. She wasn't worth their attention. As Sandra browsed, the manager barely hid their boredom. When she reached for a handbag, they rolled their eyes, then turned to a co-worker and whispered something with a smirk. Sandra pretended not to notice. She smiled politely and asked if she could take a closer look at a designer purse on the top shelf. The manager let out a short laugh and shook their head. "I think you'll find our clearance section more suitable," they said, their voice dripping with fake politeness. A few customers nearby overheard. Some glanced at Sandra, realizing who she was. Others just watched, sensing the tension. But Sandra didn't argue. She didn't snap back. She just stood there, calm and composed. The manager, however, had no idea they had just made a huge mistake. Just as the manager turned away, the door swung open again. Keanu Reeves walked in, calm and confident, like he had all the time in the world. He wasn't flashy, wasn't trying to draw attention, yet everyone in the room felt his presence. He glanced around, taking in the scene, then locked eyes on Sandra. He could tell something wasn't right. Without hesitation, he strolled over to her and broke into a warm smile. "Sandra, there you are. I was looking for you." His voice was casual, but his timing was perfect. The manager's expression shifted in an instant. The smug attitude disappeared, replaced by wide eyes and nervous energy. Suddenly, they knew exactly who Sandra was. The woman they had just brushed off as unimportant was standing next to one of the most beloved actors in Hollywood. But the damage was done. Keanu wasn't about to let this slide. He wasn't the type to yell or cause a scene. No, he had something much better in mind. The boutique manager had no idea what was coming next. Keanu didn't get angry. He didn't call out the manager or make a scene. Instead, he did something no one expected. He turned to Sandra, completely ignoring the awkward silence in the room. "I need your opinion," he said. "I want to buy a few things, but you have better taste than me. Help me pick something." Sandra caught on immediately. With a small smile, she nodded. Keanu casually walked over to the most expensive section of the store, pointing out luxury handbags and designer coats. "This one's nice, right?" he asked. "You know what? I'll take it. And this one too." The manager stood frozen, watching as Keanu picked out item after item. When he was done, he handed everything to the cashier. "Oh, by the way," he added, loud enough for the whole store to hear, "these aren't for me. They're all for Sandra." Then, he turned back to the manager with a smirk. "You didn't think she could afford this? That's funny." Silence. The manager's face turned red. They had messed up badly. Keanu handed Sandra the bag and said, "This one's on me. But next time, I think they should treat you better." The boutique manager's attitude flipped in an instant. Their fake confidence melted away, replaced by nervous stammering. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry, Ms. Bullock." They mumbled, trying to save face. But it was too late. The damage was done. Other customers whispered among themselves, some pulling out their phones to record the moment. A few people even chuckled, shaking their heads at the manager's poor judgment. Sandra, always the bigger person, didn't gloat. She simply smiled, took the shopping bags from Keanu, and said, "Thank you. That was unnecessary, but very sweet." Keanu just shrugged. Anytime. The moment was a reminder of something simple yet often forgotten. It's not money or fame that makes someone important. It's how they treat others. That day, the boutique manager learned a hard lesson in humility. And the rest of the store? They got to witness firsthand what true class looks like.